following is an exclusive presentation of News Radio KMAN, your home for K-State athletics. It's game time. This is The Game on News Radio KMAN.
Let's take a quick moment to honor an overnight legend in college football. Kurt Herbstreit announcing earlier today that his dog Ben passed away. Ben, I could tell, was like the dream dog. Listened, wasn't aggressive, wouldn't be trying to jump on everybody. You know, it's very hard to train a dog. It really is. But man, are they wonderful animals. Ooh. Even if they're not the best trained. They're loyal. And I could tell Kurt Herbstreit got one of the few that was just, that dog did everything right.
The fact that he could take him to how many different sites and you didn't hear a peep for the most part out of him.
No barks.
No.
Chill.
Didn't need a leash most of the time too.
Yeah, not tugging on a leash.
Yeah. If you can take your dog out without a leash, your dog is the best. And when my dog got older, he used to be crazy like that. He got off the leash, you were screwed. By the end of his life, you could take him anywhere. He didn't care. Same thing with my other dog. She wouldn't go anywhere. Those are the best. My
dog Finn is an Australian Shepherd. He's now 8, which is crazy. Took him to puppy school. And knowing that he was a smart breed, I had the feeling this wouldn't be the toughest job in the world. No, it was. It was tough. There were some growing pains. You know, he was a true freshman for maybe a little bit longer than his true freshman year. But once he got into a groove and he realized that when you do things right, you get treats, then it became a lot easier. And typically dogs have that puppy phase for their first 2 years. And yeah, he would chew on things. Dogs chew on things when they're pups. Heck, when some dogs, when they're adults, they get older, they still chew on things. It becomes kind of like a boredom thing. When you're so bored, oh, here's something I can chew on. This will kill an hour.
Does your dog counter surf?
No.
Do any of your dogs counter
surf?
Well,
there's not enough counter space. But he will jump all over the furniture.
You have one dog, right?
Yes, and loves to look out the window.
Yeah, my dog was the same way. When he was around, he liked to look out the window.
Honestly, I think that one of the toughest things about dogs is, I say toughest, like, of course, when a dog gets sick or has allergies or can't, awful things like cancer. Yeah, that's the most difficult thing, right? But I think the separation anxiety that dogs get, and when you leave and you put them in a kennel and they're just raising hell, that's really tough. And some dogs never get over that.
Right.
And that can leave you in some really tough spots. And with that separation anxiety, they go nuts. They rip down curtains and furniture's out of place. Trash cans are knocked over and things get chewed on. You can grind through that.
Well, and the thing is, for me, I don't have a lot of those stories because as I was growing up, we weren't allowed a pet in the house.
Really?
And
had dogs all my life.
And because of Monica's allergies, we don't have a pet now.
Okay.
And so, my grandmother was a kennel operator for breeding schnauzers, officially, Highline.
Not the biggest fan of breeders, to be honest with you.
Well, understand, but in this case, you were talking that they were Highline dogs in terms of the licensing and all of the usuals there. She did a tremendous job, and we had a couple of schnauzers from her as growing up, and then Dad had a Brittany that was his bird hunting dog, but beyond that, we had the barn cats, and none of them were going to get in the house. There's no way.
My great-grandfather had a dog that had his eye bitten out by a snake.
Jeez.
A snake?
Yeah, he was hanging out in the barn one day, and a snake came by, and I can't remember what snake it was. My dad told me a number of years ago. Bit the dog's eye out, so the dog had one eye, and the one eye was closed, and it was a one-eyed dog, but boy, it was a good dog. It saw everything. And those farm dogs, whew, they're like lasers, man. They hear something, their attention immediately goes to that.
It was very easy to tell Kurt Herbstreit's dog, Ben, that was a good boy.
For sure.
That was a good boy.
Legend. Yeah. Probably more popular than Herbie himself.
For a short while, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see Kurt. I want to see Ben.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a dog you just wanted to pet. I don't care who you are. You wanted to pet that dog. And you knew that dog wanted to be pet. He's just like, they brought him on stage one time. He just kind of walked on stage, kind of checked things out. Yeah. Not scared of anything. Maybe been through a little bit, but yeah. For somebody that's lost a number of dogs in my life, I understand the pain. But especially when you know that's the best dog you've ever had. And you probably won't have one better. Yeah. Tough day for Kurt Herbstreit.
Yep.
I think Ben deserves his own segment. His own,
On College Game Day?
Yeah, on College Game Day.
And in memoriam.
Yeah, there you go.
For sure.
Yeah, his own moment. Because
that'll happen.
There's a little bit you could put together a highlight reel of people posting stuff on Instagram or Twitter, and what Kurt Herbstreit has put up there. That was a good boy. He deserves that.
The best is when he would come in the broadcast booth. He would just pop up in the back, just chilling out.
So as I was putting together Mitch in Vegas, I look at teams' game notes to find some fun facts. And in the first sentence of LSU's game notes, they mentioned that the game is going to be broadcasted by Kurt and Ben Herbstreit.
Herbstreit, yeah.
They put Ben in the game notes.
Well,
Nice
earlier in the year, Texas had made sure that he had his press pass.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I think the press pass was on a big chain.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice touch. All access pass for Ben. He can go wherever he wants. Rest in peace, Ben. You are an overnight legend. Okay. Transferring from Ben, we're sticking with college football. K-State off this weekend. No game Saturday, but you'll have K-State basketball on Saturday at 3 o'clock against Cleveland State, which, by the way, later on in this first hour, we get to get back to one of our favorite games, KSU or CSU, or you could just say Cleveland State. KSU or Cleveland State, if you want a chance to win a pair of K-State tickets for Saturday, get ready to call in. No texting today. But it's the same number, 785-537-1350. Later on this hour, it'll be segment 3.
Reminds me I need to come up with probably figure out a good bet for Leslie, who used to work a friend of mine that used to work at Cleveland State.
Friend of mine played basketball at Cleveland
really?
State back in the day. Brian Smoller will be before that giveaway. Brian coming on to talk K-State women's basketball and volleyball. The K-State women tonight play against Belmont at 6:30. Belmont, one of the top winningest programs in women's basketball history, for those that don't know. And coming up in hour number 2, it's the same old, same old. Curry Sexton will join us, plus Mitch in Vegas at 5:25. So no K-State football, like I mentioned. Hopefully they're in the lab, getting things figured out on offense, getting creative with the running game, getting creative with hopefully DJ Giddens and Dylan Edwards in the passing game.
Figuring out how to hold on to blocks better.
Defeating those that bare front that you're seeing from teams now. So with that aside, K-State, of course, is still in a good spot. They're 7-2. Yes, that game in Houston was super ugly. Offense didn't do its job. Still a tough one to kind of forget about. It's still lingering, the pain of that one. But there is still a pretty big opportunity for chaos this weekend in the Big 12. The Big 12 could be super fun this weekend. Now, hopefully, K-State will be the team with the bye week. They can be the ones that sit back, watch the chaos, and it all plays in their favor. Nothing this weekend can honestly really hurt K-State this weekend. The games that we consider chaos games, you have Iowa State at KU. That's a close line. Colorado at Texas Tech, that's a close line. And then what about BYU at Utah? Are there many people out there that are giving Utah a chance to pull off the upset? Well, Vegas says that BYU is a 3-point favorite going to Rice-Eccles Stadium. The Holy War, which is the unofficial name. It's like Farmageddon. Unofficial name of the rivalry. I noticed in both of their media notes that they don't put Holy War in there.
No, very smartly to not do so. Why rile up who
they'll be fine.
Doesn't need to be.
They'll be fine.
Yeah,
well, one's a religious school, one's not.
And that's the deal, yes.
Okay.
Which is ironic because most of the players from both of them are from the same religion.
If you're a K-State fan, who are you rooting for more, Texas Tech or Kansas the rest of the way? Texas Tech is an inspired group right now.
You don't even
this
have to
weekend,
ask.
You're rooting for them more than KU. But maybe through the rest of this season, you may be rooting for KU a little bit more, depending on results, right? Colorado and Texas Tech could be chaos in its own this weekend. Because I can see that game being wild. I mean, hell, Texas Tech, best scoring offense in the Big 12. They just happen to be the worst team in the conference in giving up points. By the way, Colorado has 2 Heisman Trophy candidates. They can score the football. They're on a roll lately. Texas Tech, they just pulled off a big upset in Ames, Iowa last weekend with a comeback win after giving up a touchdown. You thought, Iowa State, they're going to pull it off again. Late touchdown. There's the comeback. Still undefeated. Nope. They're still never 8-0.
No.
Still has never happened.
Nope.
Colorado and Texas Tech, to me, is kind of a coin toss. And I like that it's on Fox. I like it's at 3 o'clock. It's in a good win. It's in a good spot for people to watch it. Because college football this weekend, not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. You got a couple of top 25 games, but they're in the SEC. I think the biggest one is you got Georgia and Ole Miss. I think Georgia wins that game. But then you have Alabama and LSU. That game, if LSU wins, you kind of consider those teams are just going to kind of flip spots in the college football playoff. And LSU is right there ready to claim an at-large. Alabama's a 3-loss team, which they haven't been in 14 years. They're on the outside looking in with still a handful of games to go. Kalen DeBoer, it's a tough job, isn't it?
Yeah.
But for the Big 12, man, you're talking about 3 games that are going to potentially, actually really all 3 games have a chance to knock somebody out potentially of a Big 12 championship race. Maybe not so much Iowa State. I should probably take that back because for K-State's sake, if Iowa State were to lose against KU in Arrowhead Stadium, doesn't really change K-State's plans, right? Mm-hmm. You still want to beat them. That could definitely still determine who gets into the Big 12 championship game between those two if it does come out to that. For Farmageddon in the last week of the season after Thanksgiving, Colorado and Texas Tech is the big wild card there. You're rooting for Texas Tech if you're a K-State fan. To me, that game is going either way because you bring something to the table about Colorado, I think you can cancel it out with Texas Tech and vice versa. Baron Morton has been very underrated this season. 19 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. But can he keep up? And maybe it's not the biggest case that if he keeps up, but can he do his part while Taj Brooks gets after it in the running game? Mm-hmm. So maybe is it more of Shadur Sanders versus Taj Brooks, but Baron Morton is the wild card for the Texas Tech offense. But don't forget about Travis Hunter. So when it comes to the underrated part of the stars in this game, they belong to Texas Tech, but they have some players like Colorado does, just not on the high end like a Shadur Sanders and a Travis Hunter. But defensively, can Texas Tech keep up with the offense of Colorado? Can Colorado's defense shut down Taj Brooks, who struggled against DJ Giddens? There are so many questions and so many storylines about this game that make Colorado-Texas Tech a lot of fun. You know Texas Tech is fired up.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Because they are for sure in the hunt. They're not expected still to make it to the Big 12 championship game, but if they can beat Colorado, their stock went up.
Did you see the note the conference passed along today? 14 of the 16 teams are still in the potential.
Still in the hunt.
Yeah, still in the fight.
Technically still in the hunt. I mean, KU focus on becoming bowl eligible. KU needs, yes, technically KU can still make it.
Can we get them to focus on actually doing a decent paint job on the field at Arrowhead before you worry about that?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No. KU's one to become bowl eligible. There is no chance for KU to make it to Arlington.
You're right. I just was making sure you had seen the note.
That's like K-State football in 2009. K-State, you're either going to win or you're going to win the North and go to the Big 12 championship game, or your season is done and you're not bowl eligible when they played at Nebraska a number of years ago. I think that was 2009. 2008, right. 2009. Yeah. One of those years. I think it was 2009. That's because K-State played 2 FCS teams in the non-con, so they had to win 7 to become bowl eligible.
Right.
But if they won that game, they won the North, and they're going to the Big 12 championship game. Very bizarre way that was all set up.
Lesson learned in terms of scheduling.
But can you expect some chaos in the Big 12 this weekend? I think so. I think it's totally in the formula. I'm not looking at BYU, Utah. BYU should take care of business there. Iowa State, KU, you know there's going to be a lot of Cyclone fans traveling to Arrowhead for that game. There's going to be more Cyclone fans than there are KU fans, I would imagine.
And in fact, it's mainly because they can't get into the place on Sunday.
You like, as a K-State fan, that the biggest potential for things that are this conference is already upside down. Now to turn it inside out and to put K-State back in a prime spot, I guess if it turns inside out, probably KU's winning a game. Maybe Utah's winning a game. But if you're a K-State fan, there's chaos. There's a watch at least, a chaos watch in Lubbock, Texas for Colorado and Texas Tech. I think that game can get crazy. I think it could be high scoring, crazy, and potentially the Big 12 game of the year.
And on top of things, in Lubbock of all places.
Yeah, where that fan base is fired up after what they did in Ames, Iowa last weekend. Absolutely are they fired up. That program has new juice all of a sudden.
Fire the tortillas.
Also helps that Washington State turned out to be a pretty good team.
Yeah, also that.
All right, let's take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to hear from K-State's Brian Smoller. We're going to talk a little volleyball, get caught up on what the Volley Cats are doing. And K-State women's basketball hosts tonight one of the winningest programs in women's basketball history. That's up next on The Game.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the game.
You, my friend, are in the game on News Radio KMAN.
At the game. House is broke.
Larry, Steve, and Rudy, the Gatlin brothers, have dazzled audiences for more than 69 years, accruing a lifetime of noteworthy achievements in their storybook career, including a Grammy for Best Country Song. The Gatlin brothers have entertained audiences on stages all over the world, from the Grand Ole Opry to Carnegie Hall. Don't miss the Gatlin brothers Country and Christmas Show at Kansas State University's McCain Auditorium, Friday, December 6th. Buy tickets online, by phone, or at the box office. Sponsored by Strecker Nelson West Gallery and Custom Frames.
At McCown Gordon Construction, we improve lives by building authentic relationships. No matter the project size, our clients enjoy unmatched talent and resources in the Manhattan area market. Early collaboration with our pre-construction team ensures cost certainty, preventing surprises. Whether it's space for public safety or community gathering, we build to serve the community. McCown Gordon Construction, proud builder for K-State and the KSU Foundation. Visit McCownGordon.com.
No matter if your flight is departing or arriving, travel is more convenient when you fly local with Manhattan Regional Airport. Connect to anywhere in the world with 5 daily flights to Dallas and Chicago. Plus, by booking your next flight through Manhattan Regional Airport, you'll spend less time driving, saving you both gas and time. Why spend hours on the road when you can spend more time at your destination? Or more importantly, getting home quicker to the ones you love. Get back to the convenience of flying local with Manhattan Regional Airport. Click your next flight at flymhk.com.
Life is full of great pairings. I mean, what's a bow without an arrow? Homes without Watson. Here at Sugar Creek Country Store, just down the road in St. Mary's, our fresh-made deli sandwiches are fantastic on their own. But pair them up with one of our signature sides like the Amish coleslaw, bacon maple potato salad, or zesty bow tie pasta salad. Stop in and pair them up at Sugar Creek Country Store, just down the road in St. Mary's.
You'll always find a smile at Sugar Creek.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous, as in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
From opening night to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, don't miss a second of the NFL this season. Hi, this is Kurt Warner of Westwood One. Join our crew each week for the best in primetime NFL action. Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night football, plus marquee games on Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas, and more. Westwood One is the exclusive radio home for every primetime and postseason game. It's right here.
1350 AM, 93.3 and 93.7 FM. This is News Radio KMAN.
I'm A.J. Sean with a sports update for News Radio KMAN as the game continues. The 13th ranked K-State women seek a 2-0 start tonight as they welcome in Belmont. One player not suiting up, though, is one of the seniors expected to play a large role this season, and that's Briley Glenn, who was elected to sit out the season in redshirt.
Briley came to me about 3 weeks ago and said, there were some things that she wanted to work on, and so we kind of put it on the back burner then, but now you have to kind of make a decision. The plan right now is to redshirt her. She also knows that, we don't have, I don't want to say a thin bench right now, but if circumstances change, she's got to still be ready, but that'll be her choice. It's not my choice.
The guard has started 93 games in her K-State career, including 39 straight before the Monday victory over Green Bay. She's played 102 games as a Wildcat, averaging 7.6 points and 2.5 rebounds. Tip-off tonight is at 6:30 here on News Radio KMAN and Sunny 102.5 at 6. For the fourth time in her career, K-State senior center Aoka Lee has been named the Los Angeles Athletic Club John R. Wooden Award, presented by Principal, on the preseason Women Top 50 watch list. Lee was previously put on the watch list in 2021, 2022, and 2024. The product of Byron, Minnesota, was named to the Wooden Award national ballot in 22 and 24. More of the game next on News Radio KMAN.
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm just slapping the bass. Rush. Back on the game. Mitch, Troy, and AJ. Hey, the first Jerome Tang show of 24-25 is tonight. Now, we'll have K-State women's basketball on K-Man tonight, but to hear the Jerome Tang show, that'll be on 101.5 K-Rock. That starts at 7 o'clock on K-Rock. K-State women's basketball tips off at 6:30 tonight against Belmont. It's actually Belmont's first game of the season. K-State is 1-0 after a morning victory earlier this week over Green Bay.
I kind of regret not having the camera on you when you were jamming out there. That was kind of cool. You were doing a good job.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought I saw you push the button, and
I pushed it just as you wrapped it up. I typically do it when you start talking. So
well, next time, if anybody ever wants a lesson on slapping the bass, I'll have AJ turn the cameras on a little bit early as we are live on YouTube. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. Anybody?
I get it.
Movie?
Yeah. The movie?
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World. There we go.
Yeah. You make a lot of Wayne's World references.
It's a wonderful movie. It's the best movie they've ever made off of a SNL skit.
True. That's true.
All right, let's chat with Brian Smoller. He's going to be on the call tonight with K-State taking on Belmont. He'll be on the ESPN Plus broadcast for K-State taking on Belmont. But first, Smoller, before we get to that, let's talk K-State volleyball for just a moment. Let's get caught up on that because I think a lot of people, kind of stop paying attention after a really rough non-conference schedule for K-State volleyball. They played a very tough non-conference. But now in Big 12 play, they have a winning record. They've won 6 of the last 8. What do you think's led to the turnaround for the volleyball team lately?
Well, I think Jason Mansfield would tell you if he knew the answer to that question, he would have done it like 10 matches ago. It's interesting. Liz Grigorski goes down in that match against 8th-ranked Kansas on the road, and they had played well in a couple of matches going into that match, but they were really playing well in Lawrence, and then she got injured, and they ended up losing, and you wondered if that would be a tailspin because she had been playing at an first-team All-Big 12 level. And instead what's happened is their depth has become so thin that it's kind of forced everybody to, you got to give it everything you got because there is no other option. And if you want this season to be salvaged at all. So it's kind of had an inverse sort of positive impact, which seems crazy to say because I think Grigorski may still get all conference honors at the end of the year. But Aaliyah Carter now is playing as well as she's played ever. And you've seen Anaya Clinton finally shake off some early season struggles. Shaylee Myers has played well, and they're clicking right now. And it's a good sign as they have teams that are very good to finish the season, but winnable matches that could propel them at least into the conversation about the postseason.
Yeah, Leah Carter comes back for a last year of eligibility, and of course we all knew that the success of this team is on her back, and it's great to hear that. I mean, she's playing her best volleyball right now, maybe of her entire career. Has she been playing her best this entire season, or is that just with the momentum of the season that Aaliyah is now playing her best ball at this portion of the season?
I think early on she might have been trying to do too much. I think maybe just trying to get it all and do everything at the outset that maybe outside of her abilities. And I don't mean that to say that she was playing poorly. I think she was just trying to do everything perfectly. And she needed a little bit of a reset, maybe. And I think it was a good move. K-State went to a system for a while where they only had her playing front row. They didn't have her playing all 6 rotations, which if you're new to volleyball or don't understand, if a volleyball player is playing in every single spot every time the ball is on the court, that's a lot of time that you're having to receive serve, in addition go up and jump and swing and hit. And teams were targeting her a lot, and it just made a lot of swings, a lot of jumps, a lot of digs. It really was causing some problems for her, I think, and just being able to do it all. So they simplified it, so to speak. It somewhat gave her a little bit more freedom. You finally started to see some smiling from Aaliyah, and she was having fun again. And then when Liz went down, I think some of the stuff they had already done strategy-wise had worked on that back row, that they could protect Aaliyah a little bit. Not that she isn't a great passer, but they could lessen the load still on her and have her now play 6 rotations. And boy, she's playing great. It's so much fun to watch her. I think she is one of the best outside hitters in the country. She's second only to Melanie Parra from TCU in the Big 12 and all the offensive numbers. And Parra probably will win National Player of the Year. So that tells you where Carter is at. Her 4.2 kills per set is one of the best marks in the nation.
Brian, I know you touched on this very briefly moments ago, but I do want to talk about chances of postseason play. Right now, K-State doesn't have that marquee win, home or on the road. They had a lot of those at home last year, but unfortunately, RPI doesn't get them into the tournament. K-State's starting to build a resume a little bit. They have a losing record, but they have a strong record in Big 12 play. They now have to upset some teams, and they have a lot of those matchups starting to come up. So if they start getting some wins and get a positive record, right now, where do you feel like postseason chances are at? Is it like a never say never situation, or is it a big reach still?
I'd say it's still a reach. They did a lot of damage to themselves early on, and especially with some home losses. It's, as you said, never say never. It's not quite the Dumb and Dumber. You're telling me there's a chance, 1 in a million. But I think it's, I think it's not 50%, but I think they've got a solid 30%, 1 in 3 chance here if they can find a way to win some matches. And it's going to require, from this point forward, they probably can only afford 1 more loss. It is probably how that's going to play out. If they can win all of the matches that they've got at home, which are 17th ranked Baylor next Wednesday, 18th ranked TCU next Friday, 8th ranked Kansas on the 24th, 21st ranked BYU on the 29th. They win those 4, plus win at UCF, plus win at Colorado, which are 2 difficult places to win, then they would be in the conversation. I think they'll still have need some help, but they could be in the conversation. And of course, tomorrow night is kind of a freebie. You're playing Arizona State, who's red hot, beat KU the other night in 4. They've only lost twice all year. They're ranked 11th in the country. I don't know that K-State's good enough to win that match. They certainly could, but I don't expect it. If they pull that off, then all bets are off, and they're right in the middle of the conversation.
Brian Smoller is our guest. You're on the call tonight for K-State and Belmont women's basketball we're talking about. But before we talk about Belmont, K-State the other night beat Green Bay, or the other morning, I should say, 92-45 in front of over 1,000 screaming children that I felt was kind of louder than when you have a full house for a men's game against KU. I'm going to ask you about the newcomers. Tamira Poindexter. We've just seen her come in and just knock down threes and play her game. How impressive has she been so far when it comes to living up to the hype?
I think she's every bit as good as advertised. I was extremely impressed with her poise, her shot selection, her ability to score, and really, Mitch, play defense. I think that was the part that surprised me the most because, you come from a lower level where you're asked to play and be the star and take 20, 25 shots a game. You're not always, it's just human nature that you're going to rest a little bit defensively to try and get yourself up to go score 30-plus points as she did in a game last year. But that was not the case. She is active defensively. She is a perfect match for what K-State's trying to do, both in their man-to-man and then if they go to a zone. You throw her in there with Zy Walker, Jalen Glenn, Serena Sundell. You got 4 perimeter players that are all around 6', 6'2" tall, but have arm spans that are much longer than that. And I think what we saw in the game against Green Bay, that's a very good Green Bay team that was completely steamrolled to begin the game and never got their feet underneath them because of the defensive pressure of K-State. And if they can keep that up, if they can play like that with her, Poindexter specifically, doing both ends of the court, they're going to be a real problem for a lot of teams.
Aoka Lee only plays a handful of minutes. Her ankle's bothering her again. But on the flip side, a backup transfers in Kennedy Taylor and finishes with a double-double. Now, since Yoki's been here, I don't think she's truly had a dynamic backup. Even when she's been banged up, you can't replace her. And then when she has played, it's a lot of, maybe 4 switching to the 5. Never really having that true center that could play good basketball, in my opinion. How impressive is Kennedy Taylor so far and in a convincing role to be a very good, strong backup for Aoka Lee?
Yeah, I totally agree. That also was extremely impressive to see. I mean, you got to go back to when Yoki was a redshirt freshman. She was playing with Peyton Williams for the last time you had somebody that could at least you could take Lee off the court and have Williams inside and feel like you didn't miss much, right? I mean, Williams is an All-American as well, so or at least a first-team All-Conference player. So this is the first time since then that she's had a post presence like that, and that was great as COVID hit. So it's been some time. And what was impressive about Taylor was her offensive rebounding. I mean, you talk to her, and she says that that's really her mindset, is she's going to go in and grab boards, and everything after that is kind of, you don't want to say gravy, but her mindset's not score first. It's go get the glass, go get the rebound, create second chances. If it's good, if I get a feed and she's in a position to score, she's going to do it. Really impressive play from her tonight. I would suspect that Aoka Lee, I think the injury to her the other night was pretty minor, but I could see K-State wanting to rest her in a game like today, because you don't play again for another week, and it's a good Creighton team that will be rolling in here. Now, that's not to take away anything from Belmont, we can talk about, but because of what we saw from Taylor, and you're trying to get Lester going as another option inside, and you might play with smaller lineups that have a Sanchez or a Boppin at that spot, I don't know anything, but I could see Jeff Biddy saying, if Yoki's at all a question mark, why not just do the whole load management NBA thing and keep her out for one more game?
One more thing about an individual player. Briley Glenn is going to be redshirting this year. She is a healthy redshirt that Jeff Mitty talked about after the exhibition, after the game against Green Bay, which, I don't know if this is becoming a trend or not. It'd be interesting to see what happens, but I just wanted to get your thoughts on how interesting that is to have a senior going into her senior season, deciding to sit out a year to get better on a few things and to come back as a better player next year. I don't think I've ever really seen much of this before.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows if that's coach speak or if that's accurate. And Briley has always struck me as a team first person, not one that's looking, hey, I got playing time and I'm going to sit out and pout. She's not that type of person. So I don't know that there is any sort of nefarious story there. I do think that it is unusual. I think you're going to see it more. In fact, I was noticing yesterday on the men's side, you're seeing it a lot more of healthy scratches of people. And some of those were ones that were intending to go to the portal, and some of those are ones that recognize that they were farther enough down the depth chart that preserve a year and then see what my options are, either through the portal or staying at the same school. For Briley, there's no question that the arrival of Poindexter, the emergence of Walker, and for that matter, the emergence of Taryn Sides has limited the amount of time that she was going to be in the rotation. And now you look towards next season where it's going to be a whole new program in some respects. You're losing a tremendous senior class. This helps bridge the gap a little bit as you have Walker and Sides for sure back, and now you would have a Briley Glenn. That's a pretty good place to start as you begin to try and pick those pieces back up and go about your business with two incredible freshmen coming in to join them as well. So I think it's a good thing down the road. I know she's still practicing and still playing as if she could play at any second, so it's not as if she's not working out. So it's just another option that you have there in case somebody does get hurt or you need a player. But at this point, you're kind of banking it towards, hey, this could be a way to kind of lengthen the program's culture and identity for another season.
And I'm glad you brought up Taryn Sides because Jeff Mitty really hyped her up in this offseason and starts 2 of 5 from 3, 8 points. That's a good start, and you hope as a team for K-State they'll be a much better three-point shooter than they were last year. As they were didn't do too well from three-point range last year. You want to see those numbers go up. All right, Brian, we'll wrap up with tonight's matchup, 6:30 tip-off in Bramlage Coliseum. K-State hosting Belmont, which, historically, these are two of the winningest programs in women's college basketball history. So Belmont, historically, can be a challenge, but I guess hit me with a couple of storylines of, on paper, what makes Belmont a challenge for K-State.
Depending on what happens, really, regardless if Lee plays or not, or if Taylor's in the middle, those are two post players that don't like to come out of the center spot. And this Belmont team has a couple of centers that like to shoot the three. So they're going to be able to pull you out a little bit more like a 5-out look. Not quite Iowa State, but they have people that play hard, know the game. The coach, Bart Brooks, he's a longtime DePaul disciple of Doug Bruno, who's one of the legends in the women's game. He's been at Belmont now for about 8 seasons. Great guy, great sense of humor, but a great coach. And in the 8 years that he's been there, they've gone 6 NCAA tournaments, a couple of Sweet 16s. As you said, they're one of the all-time winningest programs. They've been the most successful, truthfully, they've been the most successful team out of Tennessee over the last decade than anybody else. Vanderbilt, Tennessee, anybody you want to bring up. That Belmont's been kind of the bell cow, if you will, for that state and has been able to pull off a lot of talent. Kendall Cheeseman's a really good 6'2" junior post player that can really shoot the three and do a lot of different things. And then I think the big thing you'll see is that Tootie Jones is a guard that's out front that is lightning fast. Kind of reminds you of a J.J. Quinterly in the sense that she can really defend. She's been the Defensive Player of the Year in the league at the Ohio Valley before. Now they're in the Missouri Valley. They just joined the Missouri Valley. I think it's like the third year in the Valley, the pick third in that league. This is another team that's in the mid-major top 15 overall. The College Insiders is at top 15 or the top 25 mid-majors, and Green Bay was 10th, and this team is 15th. Middle Tennessee State, who K-State will play later this year, and St. Joe is 4th. So another good mid-major school coming in here. It's one of the premier games tonight.
Yeah, this is a non-conference schedule you wouldn't shake a stick at for K-State women's basketball this season. They will be challenged a lot before conference play comes up, which of course will be a challenge as well. Well, Brian, really appreciate your time. Thanks for that breakdown. We'll see you in Bramlage here in about an hour. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Sounds good. Yeah, you bet.
All right, that's Brian Smoller from K-State, and he's on the call tonight. ESPN Plus, 6:30 tip-off. Of course, the action right here on News Radio KMAN beginning at 6, K-State against Belmont. All right, from the women to the men, now is your opportunity to win a pair of tickets to Saturday afternoon's game. K-State men hosting Cleveland State. If you want to watch the K-State men in person, call right now, 785-537-1350. You'll get to play KSU or CSU. You got to get 2 of your 3 questions right. Again, call right now, 785-537-1350. The first caller gets a chance to win K-State men's basketball tickets for Saturday's tip-off at 3 p.m. More of the game coming up next.
Your home for K-State sports.
Thompson at the goal line. He's in again. 4th rushing touchdown of the game for Skylar Thompson.
This is The Game on News Radio KMAN.
Manhattan Broadcasting is keeping it local. Dollars spent locally today help build a better community for tomorrow.
D&I Plumbing, Heating, and Air will provide honest and quality service when you need it most. From a leaky faucet to replacing your water heater. Trust the experts at D&I Plumbing, Heating, and Air, your York and other makes and models local dealer. Call 537-7138 today.
Turn your memories into a masterpiece at Candlewood Frame Shop. Whether it's framing your favorite picture floating around in the digital cloud or creating a shadow box with cherished things or memorable events, Candlewood Frame Shop. Let them turn your stories into a masterpiece.
For a once-in-a-lifetime experience, engagement ring shopping simply can't be duplicated on a computer screen. At Fifely Jewelers, you'll be pleasantly surprised by our pricing compared to buying online, and we offer financing. Plus, you'll have peace of mind by shopping locally with Fifely Jewelers.
Manhattan Broadcasting is keeping it local. Find more great local businesses plus special deals and offers when you keep it local on our website.
Attention homeowners! Are you looking to enhance the curb appeal and protect your home? Buck Roofing Company has been serving Kansas for almost 20 years. They are the go-to experts in premium siding solutions with new LP siding or James Harding options. Your home will stand out while being protected against the elements. Call their office for a free, no-obligation estimate today, 785-230-9379. Buck Roofing, where quality and professionalism come first.
Fall has arrived at Blueville Nursery. Add a pop of seasonal color to your porch with mums, annuals, and pumpkins. Cooler temperatures make fall a perfect time to plant, and we have a great selection of trees, shrubs, and perennials. September through October is the perfect time to seed cool season lawns. Don't forget to add Fertilome New Lawn Starter to get an extra boost. Plant fall bulbs in October to get an early pop of color next spring. Louisville Garden Store is open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 5. Come give us a visit at Blueville Nursery, where you'll always find the friendly smile and expert advice. Located at the corner of Scenic Drive in Anderson and Manhattan.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I push through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. 1, okay, cool guy. 2, 3 times. Next, I put it in reverse. Meep, meep, meep. Then I take it up and down, up and down. And that, kiddos, is called the forklift.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
Now that's dancing. Sure beats flossing.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
The Ramsey Show.
Up to 50% of American families are paying their adult children's bills to an average of $1,482 a month. Wow. I've never seen it like this. 25% of millennials, their parents are paying their house payment, their rent, or they're living in their basement. You pay your kids' bills. Psychologists call that enabling. As a matter of fact, enabling is quite the opposite of loving.
Go from paycheck to purpose with The Ramsey Show. Weekdays 10 to 1 on News Radio, KMAN.
Your News Radio KMAN Manhattan area forecast calling for patchy fog tonight between 1 and 2 a.m. Otherwise, increasing clouds with a low of 40. 50% chance then for afternoon showers, a possible thunderstorm tomorrow evening. 56 the high throughout the day. Tomorrow will drop down to a low of 46 tomorrow night with that chance of rain at 90%. More of the game next here on News Radio KMAN.
We're back on the game. I think somebody deleted my buzzer and my correct ding. Oh, I found him. Oh, yeah, we're good. We're good. We can play.
Someone really needs to go through that list, though, and clean some things up.
Wow, Troy just called me out.
I'm just saying, some of the things that are saved in that list.
Well, there's some things I don't want to get rid of. I can give you an example here in a little bit, but there's some things I just don't want to delete.
It's amazing what Windows folders can do for you, though.
All right, let's play KSU or CSU, or you can say Cleveland State. Jordan from MHK joins us. What's going on, Jordan?
Oh, just getting off work, heading home.
All right, Jordan. Well, here's how the game works. There's 3 questions. You only have to get 2 right, and it's a 50-50 shot at getting the correct answer. It's either KSU or CSU. Is that pretty simple rules?
Yep, pretty straightforward.
All right, Jordan, well, here we go. Here comes your first question in KSU or CSU for some K-State basketball tickets. A pair of them for Saturday, 3 o'clock against Cleveland State. Jordan, question number 1. Who had more wins last year? KSU or Cleveland State?
Huh. All right, I'll go Cleveland State.
Cleveland State. Troy, what do you think? Do you think K-State or Cleveland State won more games last year?
I believe that K-State did, off the top of my head.
AJ, you want to be the deciding vote here?
Yeah, it was K-State.
All right, the correct answer is... It was Cleveland State.
Oh.
Cleveland State, 21 wins last year. K-State had 19. Both teams had 15 losses. How about that? Jordan's
I was
going
to say that.
Jordan is here to play.
We're not playing the game right now, by the way.
Jordan, here soon. We might start up Stump the Shaw. You might be first in line.
Yeah.
All right, so we have now you just need to get one more question correct. Here's question number 2, Jordan. Which team hit more 3-pointers in their previous game? KSU or CSU? Jordan's thinking.
Yeah, we did pretty good. I felt like we almost got 50%. I'm going to go with K-State.
All right. AJ, you want to take a shot at this?
Say the question one more time.
It's 3-pointers in the last game they played. Who made more?
I'm going to go K-State.
Okay. So, AJ taking the smart route and going with the defending champion of Stump the Shaw, Jordan here, after one question. All right, yeah. Jordan, is it K-State? It is.
Yeah.
13 3-pointers for the Cats against New Orleans. For Cleveland State, they hit 3 against Baldwin Wallace. That's your final question. Who is Baldwin Wallace?
The Shaw doesn't know.
No idea.
That's a school, not a guy?
That is, apparently it's two dudes.
Oh,
It's their
okay.
names together that kind of founded the town and the school or something
Okay.
like that. They're out of Ohio.
I got it, yeah.
All right, so Jordan, you get the tickets. Real quick, though. Fun question here at the end. Question 3. Let's see if you get it right.
Mm-hmm.
Which school's first 3 mascots were Freddy the Fox, Victorious Vike, and Hagar the Horrible? KSU or CSU?
That has to be Cleveland State.
Yeah, Cleveland State. Ridiculous names, but if you looked up, the mascots are actually pretty fun looking. Especially Hagar the Horrible. Crazy scary. All right, Jordan, hang on the line. AJ's going to get your information. Congratulations on winning the tickets and enjoy the game Saturday. All right, well, I think George just hung up.
Oh, no.
Jordan, call back. Jordan, call back. We need your info so we can put your info down to win the tickets. All right, hey, we got hour number 2 coming up. Curry Sexton will join us. Mitch in Vegas, Ask Us Anything is all coming up. More of the game after these words. Hour 2, next. Game.
After facing a multitude of challenges since 2020, Flint Hills Area Transportation Agency has decided to evaluate the current system and seek out the current needs and wants of the local communities to guide a path forward. Your input is vital. Flint Hills Autobus needs your help. Get involved and share your input to help guide Autobus so they can provide more convenient and efficient connections to jobs, services, and educational opportunities. Take the survey by going to fhata.org/study.
Are you tired of that outdated kitchen? Is your basement more dungeon than hangout, or do you need a complete new home build? Well, no matter what you're looking for, Greg Wag Construction has been making home dreams come true for over 30 years. Greg Wag Construction is the licensed, experienced professional builder that will give you the quality craftsmanship that you can trust. Don't believe me? Go online and look at his reviews. Give Greg Wag Construction a call at 785-313-3819 and build something amazing together.
Picture it, Junction City, Kansas, 1884. A businessman organizes the Central Kansas Bank. It has a fireproof vault, a burglar-proof safe, and a time lock to secure deposits. 140 years later, and Central National Bank is still one of the strongest banks in Kansas. It's money for your life and the generations who'll come after you.
Central National Bank, money for life.
Member FDIC in your hometown since 1884.
Hi, I'm Jeremy from Pawnee Mental Health. Suicide isn't easy to talk about, but it's a conversation that can save lives. If you or someone you care about is struggling, please reach out. Call or text 988 to connect with the National Suicide Crisis Line, or contact Pawnee's Crisis Stabilization Unit at 1-800-609-2002. You don't have to face this alone. Let's talk, because reaching out can save a life.
KS State Bank offers convenient services to help make life a little easier. Visit ksstate.bank to learn more. KS State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. KMAN, Manhattan.
Weather on News Radio KMAN is brought to you by the Flint Hills Discovery Center. Host your next event or holiday party at the Discovery Center. Visit FlintHillsDiscovery.org for more information.
Your News Radio KMAN Manhattan area forecast calling for patchy fog tonight between 1 and 2 a.m. Otherwise, increasing clouds with a low of 40. 50% chance then for afternoon showers, a possible thunderstorm tomorrow evening. 56 the high throughout the day tomorrow will drop down to a low of 46 tomorrow night with that chance of rain at 90%. More of the game next here on News Radio KMAN.
It is hour 2 of the game after work. Mitch Fortner, Troy Coverdale, and AJ Shaw. We're with you until 6. Final live show of the week because all of us have high school football tomorrow night. Manhattan High is hosting the Mays Eagles for the first time in 11 years. That's because Mays dropped down to 5A for 11 years, and now they're back up to 6A. They're led by Bryson Hayes. He's a wide receiver and a commit to Nebraska. He's approaching 600 yards rushing. He can also run the football. Very talented kid, so it's going to be a pretty solid matchup for J.J. Dunnigan and that Manhattan secondary. They'll kick off at 7, pregame 6:30 tomorrow night.
Holcomb and Rock Creek, the B game tomorrow night. B1047, Carpet One game of the week. A matchup of a 7-2 Holcomb team against 8-1 Rock Creek. Holcomb has losses to Scott and to Cheney. Those are their 2 losses this season. Otherwise, they have put up a lot of numbers that are similar to what Rock Creek has done this year. And it'll be a fun one to get.
As soon as I saw that matchup that could potentially happen in the second round, I was like, that's got to be the game of the week on B. Wamego also has McPherson. That'll be very interesting as well. Wamego's already played Bueller. And that's a really good team. Now McPherson
is down some this year, but still at 4-4. It's going to be a good matchup as well.
Head over to newsradiokman.com if you need all the matchups for the regional round of the playoffs, all the classes for teams out of the Centennial League, NCKL, Big East League, and the Twin Valley League, both 8 and 11-man. NewsRadioKman.com. That slate of games is up now.
One thing to mention about that 3A bracket on that west side with Rock Creek, you've got Scott, you've got Cheney, you've got Holcomb. I mean, that side of the bracket is still so loaded. It is amazing how the route someone coming out of there is going to have to go through.
Well, it's now time to chat with a former high school football star, a college football star. Curry Sexton now joins us on a Thursday. Curry, if you don't mind, I'm going to try something here real quick. AJ, get ready to test your knowledge because I, this week, discovered something about AJ. Not only is his sports trivia knowledge very good, it's almost like he can tell you, you give him a date, and he can tell you the day of the week that date took place. Curry, if you don't mind, would you share with us your birthday?
Yeah, August 16th, 1991.
Okay, real quick, though. Curry, you were born a year and a day after I was. I'm August 15th.
Wow.
AJ, what day of the week was August 16th of 1991?
I really don't want to do this right now.
Dude, you did it on K-Rock the other day. I just saw the video today.
I was afraid you were going to see it.
Well, I saw it, so I wanted to put you to the test.
It was a Friday.
Now, Curry, do you know if that's right or not?
No idea. No idea. I've never thought about that, so
Let me
I'll take AJ's word for it. I hope it was a Friday.
Let me put him through this one. Let's see if he's able to get this one, because I do know for sure. August 28, 1971.
That was a Saturday.
He got it.
How do you do that?
When I was growing up, I was really into calendar. Well, I wouldn't say I was growing up. When I was a kid, I was really into calendars for some reason.
You just memorize dates for 150 years?
I'm embarrassed to talk about it. That's why it's a useless talent. That was the purpose of the Ask a K-Rocker.
I thought it was kind of interesting.
what day of the week was July 4th, 1776?
I think it was a Thursday.
Oh, man.
Is that right?
Yikes! I'd have to truly look at a calendar, dude.
I'm totally just kidding. I'm impressed that you have the ability to recall dates that far back.
Between dates and his NFL draft capabilities.
All right, July 4th, 1776. What day did you say that is, AJ?
Was it a Thursday?
Yeah, it was a Thursday.
Holy crap.
I don't know how I knew. I think I saw that one time when I was reading about the Declaration of Independence.
Well, how far do you think you can go back?
You're like Stump the Schwab.
Well,
we have Stump the Shaw.
We do a Stump the Shaw game. We did it over the summer, Curry. So
that's funny.
Yeah, when you were here with Nemechek for No Stone Unturned, he came in here after the show and was giving me crap for missing a Cubs question.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Curry, we need the update on Halloween candy. What do you think the number of pieces of candy, fun-sized candy, did you eat on Halloween?
Way too many. My wife had for our house. What we gave away at our house, we had a bag of chocolate, and then we had a big basket of fun-sized nerd clusters. And I don't know how many bags of those little fun-sized nerd clusters I ate, but it was way too many. So, man, I know we set the over and under at 5. I think on Halloween night alone, I probably had 15. So, yeah, I have a problem.
Hey, that's a good time to have a problem. My girlfriend, she always puts out a big bowl, and there's a bunch of leftovers. They were doing work on her street, so she hardly got any trick-or-treaters. And I'd never heard of these before, but they were like Skittles gummy bears. And
oh, yeah. No, I just had those recently. They're actually really good.
I ate the whole bag.
Oh, yeah, they're really tasty. I just had those like a couple weeks ago, and they're, really, really solid. I was impressed.
All right, how do I transition here? Curry, Pat, this past Saturday, the offense had a tough time chewing up some yardage in a loss to Houston, a really tough loss, 24-19, the final score. And then offensively for K-State, very low yardage. The running game did not really get going. The best stuff was probably in that first drive. And Dylan Edwards had an 11-yard run. That was really about it. Hardly any big plays. You talked last week, and Zach Nemechek on Power K Game Day, you guys basically talked about the same thing about you think they're going too much inside zone. They need to bust it out a little bit more outside with the running game. Did you see difference in play calling or style of plays in the running game against Houston?
No, not really, to be honest. There were a few efforts to put Dylan on the boundary via jet sweeps or really just jet sweeps. But no, it was the same recipe, right? A lot of inside zone. We're a pretty predictable team right now. If we pass the ball on first down and aren't successful, you're guaranteed to get an inside zone play on second down, and that on Saturday led to a lot of third and longs. And the flip side of it is we're inside zone on first down, and if we're not getting positive yardage there, you're putting yourself into obvious passing situations on second and third down. So, no, didn't see a lot of variation in the run game on Saturday, which I think we continue to need. And I think another thing that is missing from this offense is Avery Johnson QB run game. I think we've seen it over the course of the last several years at K-State. The QB run game is a great equalizer. It's the one offensive play call that truly puts the defense at a disadvantage. And we had a couple design runs on Saturday, including one on the first drive that should have went for a touchdown, but a couple missed blocks led to it getting stopped just short of a first down and a touchdown. But beyond that, did not have a lot of design QB run plays on Saturday, and that's something that we just have to do. I know we don't want Avery to get beat up. I know we want to avoid him getting hurt, but his skill set as a runner makes us, gives us a different component that we're not otherwise used to having, and the defenses aren't used to defending. And so we've got to find a way to run the ball with Avery to open things up for DJ and everybody else.
Yeah, you reminded me of the missed block by DJ Ginzer. He didn't help out on that block and that first down run for Avery when he was down at the 5-yard line. And that wasn't goal to go. K-State could have got a first down, and you didn't see DJ get the ball in that sequence either, which I was a little bit surprised. So, and then the next series, you see Jace Brown. Maybe it was actually that same drive. Jace Brown didn't make a block, and a play goes to Dylan Edwards. It was like a loss of 5 or something. I think that was on the next drive. But anyway, I'm kind of rambling here. Anyway, that leads me to my next question about how well lately do you feel like the wide receivers and running backs have been blocking?
I think it's hit or miss. I think we've got some guys. I mean, Keegan Johnson, I think, is a really, really good run blocker out of the receiver position. And I think Jaden Jackson largely does a really nice job. And I think DJ Giddens, for the most part, is a pretty effective blocker. I think he's done a decent job from time to time in the pass blocking. But yeah, I think we're struggling in places. I mean, Jace Brown missed a couple key blocks on Saturday on the edge. And then obviously DJ and Garrett Oakley both missed a block on that first drive designed QB run play that should have went for a walk-in touchdown, and we had 2 guys on 1 defender, and each one of them just had to get a piece of that guy, and it would have led for a touchdown. So it just has to be something that guys are more intentional about. And obviously, we're a run-heavy football team, and so run blocking is a huge piece of what we do. And so, I think there were a couple key misses on Saturday that led to plays being, stuffed out in the backfield, or led to plays not going as far as they should have.
Really killer for K-State in the game was Avery's first interception, which I thought Avery had an off game for a number of reasons, but that particular play, I'm sure you've been asked about it 100 times. So for the 101st time, I guess, what did you think about going with the RPO and Avery decides to throw it, which I thought was there and probably would have picked up a first down, but there was a lack of execution. But just what did you think of that whole sequence that led to Houston getting within 2 scores after the interception, or 1 score after the interception?
Yeah, so I think it initially, taking the external factors out of it, I think the thought of throwing on 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8, I'm mostly okay with, and I appreciate, because it kind of a little variation in the play calling, maybe a little less conservative than we've seen. But then you throw the circumstances into play, and I just was not a fan at all. I mean, you're talking about where our defense had not given up any yardage in that second half. I think they had 4 drives prior to their first touchdown drive in the second half for like 25 or 30 total yards. And so with that 9-point lead and with the weather, you just have to turn the football. You just have to be okay with running the football and turning the football over to your defense and saying, okay, guys, go win us this football game. And so I was not a fan of putting the ball in the air on that 2nd and long, backed up against our goal line, and putting our defense in that precarious position of having to defend, Houston from 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line. So wasn't a fan in the end. I mean, in a normal game, I would have appreciated the variation, but in that situation where you're up 9, fourth quarter, defense is stopping everything that Houston is trying to do. Let them win the football game for you, and don't try to take the football game away from that defense. So, was ultimately disappointed with that call in that situation.
Did you ever play in a crazy game like that? And I say crazy, like it just rained the whole time, and at one point it was just an absolute downpour in the fourth quarter.
Man, I don't think so. I don't think I ever had to deal with weather like that, which is obviously a factor that you can't prepare for. I mean, I'm sure you remember this from high school football, but you can dunk a ball in water at practice or even practice in the rain, but I don't think anybody ever practices in a monsoon, which changes everything. I mean, we saw it on special teams, right? We had a field goal unit that couldn't complete a snap hold, and our punt return unit couldn't field a punt. And that caused us a lot of problems on Saturday. And so that type of weather is just not something that you can prepare for. And so it's unfortunate. We should have snuck out of there with a win, and the fact that we didn't is obviously hugely disappointing.
I remember deflating some footballs back in the day when we had a crazy rain game against Holton.
There you go. Tom Brady.
Well, now.
Everybody kind of does it, Okay, so Curry, what do you think this week has been like for K-State football? It's a second bye week, probably the best time because you're coming off a horrible loss. What do you think the week has been like for K-State? With the bye week, getting ready for Arizona State in a week.
Yeah, so I know it's been a week for them to sort of recuperate, get rejuvenated. I know the guys were off on Monday. and they practice Tuesday, Wednesday, and then today. So 3 days of practice, pretty light practices, and then they'll be off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they'll be back on Monday. So, I think the big word of the week, I think, is just reset. We're at the, we're 9 games into the season. It's been we had a tough 4-game stretch here recently. We got a team that's got a lot of guys who are beat up, which is normal for this time of the year. And so just a reset where you reset your mind and try to reset your body is always something that people can benefit from at this time of the year. So I think, this week is, through the end of this week, through Sunday, the big focus is going to be on just rejuvenation. Guys getting their bodies healed up as best they can so we can be healthy and fully rejuvenated as we go down this last 3-game stretch.
Are you taking Colorado or Texas Tech on Saturday?
I'm taking Colorado. I think, Colorado's a good football team, pretty well-rounded football team in all reality. And I think Texas Tech, coming off that big road victory at Iowa State, is going to be due for a letdown. So I think Colorado's going to win Saturday, but I do think that Colorado's going to run into some trouble when they go play KU on the 23rd and at Arrowhead. I think we're in a unique position right now where obviously the focus for us needs to be just winning every football game that remains, but also to some degree we've got to start cheering for KU. KU and Utah can be real disruptors down the stretch, and so I think KU is going to knock off one of Colorado or Iowa State here in the month of November.
Is that easy for you, cheering for KU?
No, I don't think I've done it in my life. So I don't know that cheering for is the right term, but I'll be happy either way. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, you're not going to be, jumping out of your chair if they score a touchdown cheering, but you're...
Yeah, never.
You're okay with an upset. I get what you're saying. A lot of us are. All right.
Yeah, 100%.
Curry, I'll let you go real quick, though, because you mentioned Stump the Schwab. Since we do Stump the Shaw, would you ever be interested in taking on the Shaw in a little sports trivia when it comes back?
Let's do it. I'm sure I would get dominated, but let's give it a shot.
AJ, what do you think? You think you're willing to take on Curry Sexton in a little sports trivia?
If Curry wants to face me, sure, I'll take him on and stump the Shaw. But I'm not going to predict any victories because whenever I start running my mouth before the case, I always lose.
This is very true.
That's funny. I'm sure your chances are good, but we'll give it a shot.
For sure.
All right, Curry, really appreciate your time. We'll talk again next week. Thank you so much. And that's Curry Sexton. Second time in a row. Silence after the exit. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we make 6 predictions. Mitch in Vegas, after these words.
I started the Maine Frisbee Golf Club at Cornell.
The Game.
This is madness.
News Radio KMAN.
Discover a world where art meets light using cutting-edge exhibitions that explore visual art, the creative process, and digital technology. The Museum of Art and Light has arrived in Manhattan and is the place where people from all walks of life will be totally engaged in an electrifying, breathtaking experience. The Museum of Art and Light is the first contemporary art museum to blend immersive, digital, and physical art all under one roof. Bring your friends and family to experience the beauty of the art like never before. For more information, you can find them online at artlightmuseum.org.
If Kansas weather has taught us anything, it's to be prepared for everything. It's time to call M&S Plumbing, Heating, and Air to make sure your furnace is ready. From full safety inspections to replacing your furnace, M&S Plumbing will keep you and your family warm this winter. If it's been a while since you've had your furnace serviced and inspected, be sure to call and schedule your appointment today. Simple fixes now can save you big money later.
Call the experts who care. M&S Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Thinking about the future isn't always easy, but with the attorneys at Adair Law, planning your estates can be. We understand the importance of protecting what matters most, your family and your legacy. Don't wait for tomorrow. Secure your peace of mind today. Protecting clients with compassion is what they do. Call Adair Law at 785-776-2000 to schedule your consultation today.
At Stormont Vale Health, high-quality care is right around the corner.
Stormont Vale Health is more than just a hospital. We're an essential part of your community.
Our commitment to quality healthcare means investing in the most skilled and talented providers and cutting-edge medical technology. Our investment in your well-being doesn't stop there. We also support various nonprofit programs throughout the communities we serve. Visit stormontvale.org and discover how we can serve you.
Stormont Vale Health. High quality care, closer to home.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Human trafficking is modern-day slavery, and it happens in our own communities. Join the Department of Homeland Security's Blue Campaign to learn about this heinous crime. Visit www.dhs.gov/bluecampaign.
There's only one place to go for the best digital advice. That's the Kim Komando Show, every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. with me, America's digital goddess Kim Komando, on News Radio KMAN.
Your News Radio KMAN Manhattan area forecast calling for patchy fog tonight between 1 and 2 a.m. Otherwise, increasing clouds with a low of 40. 50% chance then for afternoon showers, a possible thunderstorm tomorrow evening. 56 the high throughout the day. Tomorrow will drop down to a low of 46 tomorrow night with that chance of rain at 90%. More of the game next here on News Radio KMAN.
I know it's not the same. We've had to switch the intro to an instrumental, and
this is what happens.
Yeah, yes, I'm very happy about giving our fans, our listeners, more access. You can now watch us in studio on YouTube. We're live right now on YouTube. News Radio KMAN. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell, notification bell. Give us that subscription and. Watch us live, I guess.
Whenever I have a good week, I always feel like it's because I'm singing along with Dino.
Okay.
If I sing along with Dino, I feel like I'm going to have a good week. I don't know if I can do that anymore because he's not singing with me.
Dino?
Dean Martin. That was his nickname.
I thought it'd be like Demo. Dean Martin?
No, it was Dino.
Oh.
It was Dino.
But
crooner.
Please make sure the microphone's off if you're going to sing along with Dino. Thank you.
I do that. But I understand you were taking a shot at my singing there.
But with the live stream comes copyright stuff, which doesn't allow us to steal music and use it to our benefit like true Americans. But we'll take the sacrifice, and we now bring you Mitch in Vegas, so he's not a sing, but you can hum.
It's an instrumental at that point,
Troy
isn't it?
plays by his own rules.
Still an instrumental.
It's a rule in radio that you do not sing along with the song. I learned it from that gentleman right across from you, Troy.
And I learned it from Howard Stern in his movie Private Parts. He starts singing along to a song, and his GM gave him the death stare. It was a strong right stink eye.
I'm surprised you didn't learn it like when you were interning for him.
No. Before that. To be honest with you, I didn't learn a whole lot. At that internship, I just met celebrities, did a little paperwork, and tried to run into Howard as much as I possibly could. All right, let's get an update on the standings. AJ and Troy go 4-2 last week. Myself, along with the people, 2-4. So AJ still in first, 42-26. That's a pretty strong record.
Expanded my lead by 2 games.
Troy and I are 36-32, so we are both 6 games back. And the people are 33-35. They now have a losing record. Game 1, the boring one of the list, West Virginia at Cincinnati. Although it is a bit of a pivotal game, the loser of this game most likely knocked out now of the conference title race. I think they would actually for sure because of BYU being undefeated. Cincinnati at home, AJ, favored by 4.5 points. And by the way, we picked these games by the Vegas line. And if you want to vote on these games, at Mitch the Fort on Twitter. They're up now.
So a couple of us on this show thought West Virginia could be good. I'll admit it, I thought they could be decent. It's been a pretty disappointing season for them. I'm going to go with the Bearcats. Cincinnati will pick up the victory on Saturday.
The people, Cincinnati, 65%.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Cincinnati as well. West Virginia is still trying to get a feel for what they have at quarterback now. With the replacement in place, the guy that the fans wanted hasn't exactly panned out in these first couple of games.
Markeel.
Yeah.
Garrett Green is most likely still out. Bearcats defense 29th in the nation in scoring. I think this should be an easy cover. 4.5 points. Again, Brendan Sorsby, I've been high on him this year. I think he's an underrated quarterback, along with Xavier Henderson, who's an underrated wide receiver in the conference. So it's going to be Cincinnati across the board. All right, game 2, we go to Arrowhead Stadium, which is pretty much right next to where they're building that new stadium in Lawrence.
Right.
17th ranked Iowa State visiting KU. Iowa State coming off the loss to Tech, they're 7-1. KU now 2-6. They need to win out to become bowl eligible. These teams they're going to be meeting for the 106th time. First time this is a neutral site game.
K-State would, I'm sure, I know a lot of fans are saying, oh man, I may have to root for KU because we want K-State to be still eligible for the Big 12 championship. Iowa State definitely had a hiccup last week against Tech at home. I have to still go with the Cyclones in this one.
Cyclones favored by 3. KU is a slight favorite on the fan vote, 51%, 51-49.
People voting with their hearts.
Yes.
Voting with my pocketbook, no, it's Iowa State. Honestly, you call that a neutral site game? That's a home game for the Cyclones is what that's going to become.
Yep.
Tomorrow afternoon.
You know, Iowa State and KU, they have different stories this year in the fourth quarter because KU and all their losses have led in the fourth quarter. Iowa State this year has won a couple of games in the fourth quarter, including a win at Iowa a couple of weeks ago, a comeback win, and then last week they did lose, actually, in the fourth quarter in the final minutes. Though since KU has the worst history of that, and they've been very close, they should definitely be better than 2-6. Heck, they could be bowl eligible, I'm sure, if they were just a little bit better in the fourth quarter this year. I'm going to go Iowa State. It's a slim margin, 3 points. 7 times KU is going to lead in the fourth quarter. They're going to lose a game. Watch. They're going to do it again. All right, at Jack Trice Stadium South. Game 3 is Colorado at Texas Tech. Colorado, 20th ranked team in the country. They're a 4-point favorite. They're at Jones AT&T Stadium. Colorado tied for second in the conference with Iowa State. Texas Tech tied for fourth with K-State. AJ, again, the line. Colorado on the road, 4 points.
Colorado is going to get another win and take down the Red Raiders. I'm going to go with the Buffs in this one.
Texas Tech 61%.
This one to me is a coin flip. Even a 4 seems large to me. I'm going to go Texas Tech because I think that spread may just be a little too much.
Yeah, I think this could be a crazy game. And watch, as I say this, is just going to be a lame game. Somebody wins in a blowout. I just feel like these two teams do have some momentum. Colorado is Colorado. Their one conference loss was to K-State at home. Ever since then, they've been on a roll. Travis Hunter is now the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. It's no longer Ashton Genty. You know, Texas Tech with Baron Morton has been a very underrated quarterback, 19 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. And by the way, let's not forget, Taj Brooks is a very good running back. Mm-hmm. There are so many factors, though, in this game, though, because Texas Tech's defense, not very good, but it was good enough to win in Ames, Iowa.
bring back a classic Big 12 game. Offense.
This could be a shootout.
Yeah, this could be a Texas Tech trademark.
I think this could be a crazy, fun, just crazy game.
Mm-hmm.
So, but right now, the way I'm leaning, Colorado wins, but Texas Tech covers.
Yeah. It's a good look.
I'm going with a Texas Tech cover to get it done. But, of course, as a K-State fan, we want Tech to win outright. All right, our fourth game of the night takes us to Death Valley, the one in the SEC in Louisiana, Baton Rouge. Number 15, LSU. Number 11, Alabama. Both teams are 6-2. LSU 3-1 in the conference. Alabama 3-2. Bama has not had a 3-loss season since 2010. LSU has won 14 straight at Tiger Stadium. AJ again. It's Bama. Favorite on the road, 2.5 points.
By the way, if you say Baton Rouge, that's how you say it.
Cultured.
Well, I'm rich. I have to be cultured.
Listen to this.
Wow.
Usually they're the ones not cultured.
Yeah, right.
Well, I'm the rich cultured one, I guess. I'm from old money, I guess.
Well, your great-grandpa a oil tycoon or something?
Yeah, he was an oil man.
Yep, that would do it. All right.
Was he really?
No.
Okay.
My great-grandfather was he worked in blacktop construction. No, he was laying roads down, and he actually made a good killing out of it. He actually paved the Denver airport runway, funny enough. Would
he pick LSU or Alabama?
He didn't care. But if he were to...
Did you actually know your great-grandpa?
Yeah, he was still alive when I was born. He lived to be 97.
Oh, nice.
Anyways, funny guy. I'll tell you about him at another time. Two very good teams. I'd love to see Alabama pick up that third loss, but I'm going to have to go with the Tide on the road here in this one.
People, LSU, 60%.
Yeah, it's an LSU night game at Death Valley. I mean, at this point, to me that's almost a show me game for Alabama. Honestly, LSU in my heart, that's the favorite right there, no doubt about it, because of how they're playing, and it's a night game at LSU. It's just nuts.
I lean with what you just said. Alabama's 1-2 on the road this year. They lost at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's no longer in the top 25. A night game at Death Valley becomes one of the toughest places to play in America. The Tigers have won 14 straight at home. And Alabama's defense is just it's too hit and miss for me.
And the Cajuns have all day to get lubed up for the game. I mean, honestly.
Give me LSU. So game 5, I threw in a group of 5, and I threw in Boise State. Nevada at Boise State. Broncos are 12th in the nation. They're at home, favored by 24 points. Nevada's just 3-7. They haven't won a game in the Mountain West. And Boise State 4-0 in the conference. They're looking to be the group of 5 representative in the college football playoff.
I just had not seen that spread until now. Wow.
AJ. Broncos by 24.
Oh, yeah. Boise State's going to win that game. Ashton Genty's going to have a huge game. He's going to get back on track.
But do you think they're going to cover 24?
I don't think they cover, but they're going to win. I think they're going to probably win by more.
So you're taking Nevada?
What?
Yes, because it's on the spread. If they don't cover the 24,
have you been picking games this whole time just money line?
I blanked there for a second. I'm sorry.
We're in week 11.
I blanked for a second.
Listen,
that's my fault.
Listen, if that's the case, you're being smart, because you have the best record by far, and that's actually hilarious. But go ahead. What's your pick?
I've not been picking games just straight off of money line.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Boise State will cover. I'm gonna pick Boise State.
The people like Boise State. It's 83% to cover 24.
It's such a bold statement to say that, but Nevada has been less than advertised. I'm going to go with Boise State with that 24-point spread. I think that they're able to do that in this matchup. I have that confidence in them.
Okay, so I did a lot of research on this one.
Okay.
I'm like, 24 points. That's a lot of points, even though Nevada's not good. Here's the thing. Ashton Genty, even though he's ran for over 120 yards the last 2 games, is only averaging 4.3 yards per carry. So teams are focusing in on stopping the run. Interesting about Nevada this year, offensively, the 5th slowest tempo in college football, and defensively, they are top 30 in not giving up explosive plays. So they're going to hang on to the football for a long time, at least try to. And they don't give up a lot of explosive plays. Well, Ashton Ginty hasn't had a lot of explosive plays lately. I'm going to take Nevada to cover 24 on the road. Final game, the Holy War. Interesting in the game notes. Looking at both teams, nobody says Holy War in their game notes officially.
Right.
Utah says this is the 102nd meeting. BYU says the 96th.
Always a fun little fight when you get rivals together and they can't even agree on how many times they've played.
I should have dug a little deeper on that one. Like, how are you that far apart on the games you've played? That's a big gap. You're talking 6 games. I mean, K-State, KU, they disagree on one game, but there's no big gap on how many games they played.
So then the question becomes, do you believe the religious school or do you believe the public school?
Well, stick around for hour number 3 of the game. Where we don't really talk a whole lot of sports. We just get my two. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so this first game in Salt Lake City since 2018. First game as conference foes since 2010. AJ, how about this? BYU at 8-0. They're at 4-4 Utah. BYU favored by 3.5.
That's a little surprising. I contemplated taking BYU for a second. Then I'm like, I know Mitch doesn't like BYU, so maybe I'll pick Utah. I've thought back and forth. BYU's going to get their first loss of the season. I'm going to go and take Utah on this one.
Remember, my dislike for BYU.
I know.
It's very little athletics. Like, it's a bad history in athletics. It's nice to see students starting to stand up. The rhetoric there in Provo. Anyway, you're really getting me off course here.
Yes.
But anyway, let me give you what the people are going to do in this game. They say BYU, 78%.
I'm not someone who thinks very highly of Utah's defense at this point of the season. They've just not been able to manage the way that we thought that they were going to be able to, and their offense hasn't been able to keep up because they put everything on Cam Rising being back, and it has not played out at all that way. I think BYU wins this one. By the way, I have the reasons for the divergence in number of games played.
Please.
The assertion, for BYU is that the games that were under the umbrella of Brigham Young Academy don't count in the series.
Okay.
Utah claims that Brigham Young Academy was the official predecessor of Brigham Young University, and as such, each won, by the way, 3 of those 6 games.
I thought you were going to say, well, they played 6 games on a Sunday.
No. Nope. It is strictly a matter of, do you call it Brigham Young Academy to University, or are they separate entities?
For Utah to have a chance, it's going to have to be an ugly game.
Yes.
I mean, BYU is going to have to start to choke a little bit and not play like the number 9 team, undefeated, who was kind of hosed on the first college football playoff ranking. I think if I'm BYU, I'd get upset, but really they don't show a whole lot of anger. They're kind of nice, I guess, to opposing people. Bryce Eccles Stadium is not going to be nice. It's going to have to take a crazy environment and a messy game for Utah, so I think it's an easy win and cover for BYU. Unless Vegas knows something. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what they know, so we'll take a timeout. This is where I bounce, and I don't normally do this, but it's my mom's birthday. We're going out to eat, so I'm getting out of here a little bit early. The boys take you the rest of the way. More of the game next. Go Cats.
Your home for K-State sports.
19 to shoot, pulling straight away. Bam! He's in shape.
This is The Game on News Radio, KMAN.
Here's AJ Patterson with Interim Healthcare Family Foundation.
At Interim Healthcare, we're more than just healthcare providers. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your support system. We believe in giving back to the community in every way we can, and that's why we're proud to offer our medical loan closet through our Interim Family Health Foundation. Whether you need crutches, a wheelchair, or even a hospital bed, our medical loan closet is here to help. It's completely free and open to anyone in the community, no strings attached. We know how stressful it can be when you or a loved one needs medical equipment, and we want to make it easier. At Interim Healthcare, we're committed to improving lives one family at a time. From offering personalized home healthcare services to supporting those in need through our medical loan closet, we're here for you every step of the way. Stop by to learn more or call Interim Healthcare. We'll make sure your loved ones are taken care of with the compassion and care they deserve.
Caring for our community is what we do best.
We care, we're there. Interim Healthcare.
At McCown Gordon Construction, we improve lives by building authentic relationships. No matter the project size, our clients enjoy unmatched talent and resources in the Manhattan area market. Early collaboration with our pre-construction team ensures cost certainty, preventing surprises. Whether it's new construction or expansion, our team simplifies complex projects. We build to serve the community. McCown Gordon Construction, proud builder for K-State and the KSU Foundation. Visit McCownGordon.com.
This is Tori Berard, and I'm the bank manager at ESB Financial. We're a local community bank, and our vision is to help our clients achieve their dreams. So what's your dream? Is it to own a home in the Manhattan community? Do you want to open your own business? Or are you working on building your savings account for a dream vacation? Whatever it may be, we want to help. Come see us at ESB Financial and find out how our unbeatable products and customer service can help you achieve your dream. Member FDIC.
Eagle Housing Lender.
Car crashes don't happen in slow motion. They happen fast. In a crash, there's no time to check if your child's in the right car seat. Don't think you know. Know you know. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The Ramsey Show.
So I am 20 years old, straight out of high school. I moved to Phoenix, Arizona to start my own business selling furniture.
What does selling furniture look like?
So I go around picking it up, clean it up, take really good pictures, and sell it. I'll probably do about $100,000 this year. Net.
Wow. Some of you are standing around with your finger in your ear. And then you got a 20-year-old with a high school education that's making $100,000 flipping used furniture. He's laughing all the way to the bank.
Financial advice for everyone. The Ramsey Show. Weekdays from 10 to 1 on News Radio KMAN.
Your News Radio KMAN Manhattan area forecast calling for patchy fog tonight between 1 and 2 a.m. Otherwise, increasing clouds with a low of 40. 50% chance then for afternoon showers, a possible thunderstorm tomorrow evening. 56 the high throughout the day tomorrow will drop down to a low of 46 tomorrow night with that chance of rain at 90%. More of the game next here on News Radio KMAN.
Troy and AJ with you for the last couple of segments of the game on this Thursday afternoon. High school football tomorrow means that we've got a best of coming your way as things wrap up for the week. K-State women's basketball coming up, coverage at the top of the hour as the Cats tonight match up with the Belmont Bruins. Well, the Bronny experiment may be somewhat over for the moment. It appears that Bronny is headed to the G League.
No surprise there. He should have been in the G League from the start of the season, but they had to have the narrative play out, I guess.
That would be correct, yes. Had to follow the ESPN script.
Exactly.
He's been assigned to the G League's South Bay Lakers. Means the probable season-long shuffle that he'll have between the N and the G League.
Yeah.
I'm still not a huge fan of G League.
It was the D
Gatorade.
League.
Yeah,
the D League.
It was the D League, and there's a whole history there, which is rather humorous when you spell CBA backwards. It was ABC.
Yep.
D. Anyway, CBA, which Isaiah ran into the ground.
Yes.
Folks who have been around a long time, like I will remember the Topeka Sizzlers of the Continental Basketball Association. They brief bit when the now Stormont Vale Event Center, then Kansas Expo Center opened.
Really? Kansas Expo Center?
Yes. because
I'll have to do a little more reading on that.
Well, the expo grounds for the
Gotcha.
Shawnee County Fairgrounds. Yeah. Anyway, you get the idea. And they always got mocked because it was CENTRE. Thought that would dress it up. Anyway, distraction. Sorry. Bronny James, headed for the G League. I had to laugh when I sat down and saw the number of panels that were open here in the browser. And then I noticed about 5 of them were Dallas Cowboys related. Someone received some bad news this afternoon.
Yeah.
And that happens to be that one Dak Prescott apparently has a partially torn hamstring.
Well, there goes his season, and there goes the Cowboys' season, even though it was pretty much over at this rate.
Pretty much.
Thing is, I have no room to talk. My team's season's over, too, and they're probably keeping the stupid head coach because the owners are cheap as hell.
What I would ask, what is the problem with the Bears in terms of why their ownership doesn't get it? But then I remember that George Halas was also a pretty cheap old coot.
That's a great question.
He's always been cheap. It's why Ditka left at one point.
It's funny. There was a tweet out last week. George McCaskey became president in 2011, took over for his brother Michael, or chairman, whatever the word is, chairman. Fired Lovie Smith after a 10-6 season, hired Mark Trestman, fired Mark Trestman, hired John Fox, fired John Fox, hired Matt Nagy, now in Kansas City, fired Matt Nagy, hired Matt Eberflus. They've had 0 playoff wins under his regime. They only had 2 playoff games under his regime. Now, the Bears are not as badly run as the Jets are because the Bears at least have made the playoffs in the last decade. The Jets haven't. But, yeah, there was a report out today that they may hold on to him because of the contract. McCaskies don't want to pay 2 coaches. And, of course, there was the report last week. Well, it wasn't really a report. It was Albert Breer saying, well, Ben Johnson was looking at the Bears' job. So any hopes of a Ben Johnson in Chicago with Caleb Williams is pretty unlikely, sadly.
Oh, that... look at it this way. At least you're not a White Sox fan.
That's true. At least I'm not a White Sox fan.
So, it could be that much worse.
Yes, that is very true.
Meanwhile, my team is coming into Arrowhead to get their butts handed to them on Sunday afternoon. So, it's after getting 41 hung on them the other day by the Ravens.
Hey, 2015, last time you won there, maybe the streak ends.
I love my team. Not likely. Yeah. On that note, we'll wrap things up in a moment on The Game.
Number you have reached. Tweet The Game, KMAN, or call 537-1350 and get in touch with the show. This is The Game on News Radio KMAN.
You've probably heard our Sugar Creek Country Store jingle.
You'll always find a smile at Sugar Creek.
We sing about it because it's true. Stop by Sugar Creek Country Store in St. Mary's and you'll be smiling and singing about the delicious handmade deli sandwiches, tasty homemade soups, baked goods, and bulk foods too. See it all by visiting SugarCreekCountryStore.com. Or better yet, come and see us at Sugar Creek Country Store in St. Mary's.
You'll always find a smile at Sugar Creek.
You guys are really good.
Blueville Nursery's Horticulture Hints radio show comes to your radio every Friday morning at 10 a.m. We will discuss timely gardening and landscape topics to help you keep your lawn and garden in tip-top shape. Blueville Nursery has been your local landscape service and garden store for over 50 years, and we want to share our time-tested techniques with you. From vegetable gardening, spring and summer annuals, to shade trees and lawn care, we'll cover it all. You're welcome to call into the show to ask questions that apply to your own landscape or garden. Stay tuned to Blueville Nursery's Horticulture Hints radio show every Friday at 10 a.m. right here on News Radio KMAN.
Hey Wildcat fans, tickets for all 16 home men's basketball games are on sale now. Get yours today and catch this season's biggest matchups, including a non-conference clash with LSU, the Sunflower Showdown against KU, and a pair of huge Big 12 matchups with Houston and Arizona. Order your tickets online at kstatesports.com/tickets or by calling 1-800-221-2287. We can't wait to see you in the Octagon of Doom.
Buck Roofing focuses on customer service by responding to the roofing concerns of residential and commercial properties with the utmost professional service for nearly 20 years. Call for a free no-obligation estimate at 785-230-9379.
I'm AJ Sean with a sports update for News Radio KMAN as the game continues. The 13th-ranked K-State women seek a 2-0 start tonight as they welcome in Belmont. One player not suiting up, though, is one of the seniors expected to play a large role this season, and that's Briley Glenn, who was elected to sit out the season in redshirt.
Briley came to me about 3 weeks ago and said, there were some things that she wanted to work on, and so we kind of put it on the back burner then, but now you have to kind of make a decision. The plan right now is to redshirt her. She also knows that, we don't have, I don't want to say a thin bench right now, but if circumstances change, she's got to still be ready, but that'll be her choice. It's not my choice.
The guard has started 93 games in her K-State career, including 39 straight before the Monday victory over Green Bay. She's played 102 games as a Wildcat, averaging 7.6 points and 2.5 rebounds. Tip-off tonight is at 6:30 here on News Radio KMAN and Sunny 102.5 at 6. For the fourth time in her career, K-State senior center Aoka Lee has been named the Los Angeles Athletic Club John R. Wooden Award, presented by Principal, on the preseason Women Top 50 watch list. Lee was previously put on the watch list in 2021, 2022, and 2024. The product of Byron, Minnesota, was named to the Wooden Award national ballot in 22 and 24. More of the game next on News Radio KMAN. No, we're not doing another sports update. AJ and Troy with you in the final couple of moments of the show. Obviously, you've been a big baseball fan. I'm assuming you collected a lot of baseball cards growing up, right?
Now, what I could. I mean, there were limitations.
Yeah.
Primarily, there weren't all that many packs that were available at Weichert's Grocery. When you live in a town of 150 people and that's your best access to the cards.
What was your favorite card? Was it like a George Brett?
Yeah, it would have to be. I do have a encased John Elway rookie my brother gave me a number of years back.
Do you have any ones that were signed?
No. I really wished that I had known that I was going to be at an event the year before the Rockies took the field. It was a Major League Baseball alumni event in Denver. Mm-hmm. And had I known that I was going to be there that night doing work, the autographs that I could have picked up, it was an amazing night in terms of the gentlemen that I talked with, including one Bob Feller.
Lucky?
Among others. That was a lot of fun that night.
Speaking of sports memorabilia, remember that Sports Illustrated magazine, Astros 2017 World Champs? Yeah, I know they cheated, trash cans, blah, 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 blah. Remember that magazine?
Yes.
I had that magazine, and I threw it out. And when they won the World Series, I was pretty upset with myself.
I still have a copy of the Colin Klein K-State issue.
Yeah, that one
of SI.
You have to keep, for sure.
Of course. I've got a few others that, are purple related in the collection. Where the collection sits right now in whatever box at the apartment, I'm not sure, but 4 years and we still have way too many things that's still boxed up. All right, K-State women's basketball up next. AJ and I catch you in the morning. Folks, have a great night. Go Bears. Go Cats.
From lending options to treasury management services, KS State Bank provides innovative solutions to help your business succeed. KS State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.